I'm in the west, I'm in the rest, I never switch.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a great one on tap between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. Standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? This fielded at the 2. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
They'll run on first down. Lockhart. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage. Stuff him in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
2 plays so far, run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at all.
Looking for a better play coming up on third.
Let's go.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is third and long.
Let's get off the field. Let's go.
They'll drop to throw. Got a man, it's right. The 30, the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Philadelphia. A big play there. 76 yards as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Walking into the stadium, we saw a ton of people donning the jerseys of this rookie quarterback, so you know they love that opening drive, and he throws a touchdown pass.
He gave a little bit of confirmation about what they had hoped, right? Because they thought they had a quarterback. They're thinking they have a quarterback. You do this, they believe they've got a quarterback. Look up, elbowing each other up in the stands. That's our guy.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now a 7-0 game. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it was capped off by an Eagles touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
And this could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, we're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section, where the columnists write possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches view that, right? Who gave away the game plan? I think it's pretty obvious, though. That'll help them win.
Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5. And here's the starting offensive unit for Seattle.
And they're coming off a good win on the road last week, but they do know that they have a home game next week. So all the focus has to be, can they get a second win on the road and make going home that much sweeter? That's the intention in this ball game.
56.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Give him a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd down.
Whenever I go to a team's practice facility and watch them work, I love to watch the defensive guys in what they call pursuit drills. The ball goes either towards them or away from them. How fast will they respond? On this play, the defensive end responded better than anyone and made a really nice play.
And Vic's throw there incomplete.
As you and I know from visiting a lot of camps, no one practices this type of a start, do they?
No, especially not on the road. You give up the touchdown on the opening drive. Now there's likely a 3-and-out on your first possession.
Yeah, you throw that incompletion there. You hate to fall into a hole early, especially on the road. Got to be careful.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Check 99. Check 99.
Now a first carry for their fullback. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. And here are the starters for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I feel a little bad here because we missed out talking about these guys on the opening drive because they were in the end zone before we had a chance to even say anything. But let's keep an eye on these wideouts. QB already has 1 touchdown pass. You know he's looking for a few more before this one's over. Those wideouts will get plenty of opportunities to try and score again.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's no secret that this is a team that's built on passing, but as you always tell me, you have to throw the run in there every now and then to keep that pass sharp.
Yeah, you have to, because otherwise, if they never have to worry about running the football, it is just a controlled sprint to your quarterback, and eventually, you're calling on your backup quarterback.
But they got to do better than that last go-around. They went and he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line.
Well, certainly some teams are not intimidated by down and distance on defense, are they? 3rd and very long? Let's go get this guy again. Big-time pressure.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals. All right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. Now, meanwhile, the throw by Vic incomplete. It was knocked away.
We talk all the time about playmakers on offense, but let's face it, there are plenty of playmakers on defense, too. I think we just saw an example of one, didn't we? Not force that incompletion.
Yeah, he's a great corner. They got a couple of them on that side of the football. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
50, 9, 50. I'm here all day. Check 13. Check.
Vic goes play action. Out to his left. It's caught inside the 25. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 24-yard line.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Now a handoff looking right. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks.
How about his performance last week? Over 200 yards. I think his decisiveness, one cut and he goes, that's what's really made him pile up the yardage.
And the yardage he piled up last week, easily honored with NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I would have voted for him.
Rush it, rush it, rush it.
Running game working, they'll stick with it on first down. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's second and 11. Now they try the right side here. And here he'll get it down to the 7. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Play action now. Vick steps away to his left. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. A 7-yard touchdown grab as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Showed some of his improv skills there, getting flushed out of the pocket but still able to make the throw for the score.
So that means he's not a method actor?
No.
Because with the improv means break character when you need to. And in the NFL, when you have those guys chasing you, sometimes you have to break character in a big way. But I love the fact that he stayed downfield, kept his eyes up, and made the play. How many rookies do that well?
Point after, right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. So that drives 7 plays in length. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
so
well.
Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Here's second and 8. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to be stopped well behind the line of scrimmage, and that's pretty much going to wipe out their gain from first down. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down.
One of the toughest things for an offensive lineman to learn is the ability to get in space and hit people who are moving targets. And linebackers are not easy ones to hit because they know how to move, juke, and make you miss. And that's exactly what he did on that play. A nice play for the defense.
Now, meanwhile, the throw by Vick incomplete. It was knocked away.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. be able to knock the ball through the post and take the three.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because it didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or two short here with third down coming up. On third down, Lockhart, and he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up fourth down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
So here are the Seahawks ready to take over on offense. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. So first and 10 now from the 30. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Now they try the right side here. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. They'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
On third down, Pitts. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. They only get 2 there, but on third and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A big play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass this young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed, aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen. And it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but they're losing. And I think as the captain of the offense, you probably always feel like you need to do more in that situation.
The best have always felt that way, and they won't settle for anything less. So right now his goal is to increase what he's doing on the field, try to make sure his teammates come along with him, and he feels like if I do better, everyone will do better. And that's what we're seeing from him right now. Got to have a little extra determination.
Yeah, a little extra determination. He has thrown the touchdown pass, no interceptions for him personally to this point. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Complete to right. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Taking it about the 16. And call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
Switch.
Now a handoff looking right. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Check 55, Mike. Come on, D! Hey, check right, check. Watch 55. You got double up.
Off the play fake. Vick rolling to his left. Looking deep for Adams. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Was trying to extend the life of that play, wasn't he? Got out of the pocket, ended up scrambling off to his left, trying to find anyone open downfield to try and make a big-time play.
Thought he had an opening there for a second, but that window closed pretty quickly.
Watch out.
Off-play action. Vick on the move to his left. A bullet throw, but incomplete. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They're going to look to throw. Wright's got it. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Now the Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
That's how we do it.
Well, call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Taken in at the 22. 12 yards on the return that time. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, all right, Brandon. Thank you very much. Hi again, everyone. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the NFL as we are officially into the second half of the season. We'll start with 2 teams that have been division rivals since 1933. It's Chicago playing host to Detroit. And in the second quarter, it's the Bears who are out in front. The Bears trying to gut this one out as it would be a good victory for them if they could get it. From Chicago, we head north to the home of their rivals as we check on the Packers at home in Lambeau. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting New Orleans Saints. The Packers seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And at this point, they trail the visiting Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
A run there on first down and a pretty good one of 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
36.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Throwing, Vic. And that's complete to Adams. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Watch the whip.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 10 yards and a Seattle first down.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Right back to him on first down. And he'll slice his way down to the 30 with a pickup of 7.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. It's a play fake. Now Vic forced out to his left. Now he'll pull it down. Taking matters into his own hands, and he picks up 4 yards and a first down. Now they try the right side here. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes if you got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. On third down, Vick. And that will be incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, what, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
They can't stop us, baby. Every time.
I don't care if you're taking it in round 1, you're undrafted, whatever. As a rookie quarterback in this league, you're going to have games where you face adversity like this.
Lessons. All the time you're going to face these lessons. The key for this guy is really be able to bounce back in the next one, because right now, this has not been his game.
Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13. These guys have punted 4 times already. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
The Eagles send out their punter now, standing just about on his own goal line. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It's a 47-yard punt, return of 6. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Let's go, baby. They turn over. Get that ball. Get that ball. Mark 55.
Off the play fake. Vick steps away. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll get this up near midfield, but that's still a few yards shy of the 1st down. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, as we are set to bring you the home stretch here, the 4th quarter. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
Undercrush. Hey, Mike 50. Let's go, DJ.
They'll try and run for it. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And finally brought down at the 31-yard line. 21 yards there. A big play on 4th down. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Now they try the right side here. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. play action. Vick out to his left, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
Now here's Vick. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off at the 17. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
Defense.
So cancel the interception, pass interference.
And you know what else gets canceled? The return yardage. Makes the play, but now it's all for naught.
On first down, Pitts. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. A great effort there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
And while no one on the offensive line will get the 6 points next to their name, they should be credited with this one. Tremendous blocking to get the runner into the end zone.
The Seahawks offense staying put out on the field. They're going to go for 2.
Watch the safety creep. Jim.
Vick on the bootleg. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. And he is not going to get in there. He stops short of the goal line, and the lead is going to stay right where it is. This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
Get ready.
Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. 2nd and 2. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
But that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Bounced right back on it, keeps possession. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. A big third down pickup of 20 yards. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not go down easily. You're right, but he did there. Now flags come in here. Looked like one of the Eagles might have moved. Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They'll set up a throw. And he'll find Hall. Touchdown, Philadelphia! As his guys are in for 6. And the Eagles make some inroads here on that deficit. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open. He has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
Extra point right down the middle. And they're able to cut this deficit down to 12. And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. Defensively, no doubt they need a quick stop. Offensively here, maybe do you put it in the air on second down, or do you go ahead and keep it on the ground, keep that clock moving?
A lot of people would ask that question, partner, because sometimes throwing the ball might actually be the path of least resistance. But in this case, it's a matter of trust. How much do you trust your quarterback? Because you throw the ball and it goes awry, you really don't look smart as a coach.
Yeah, and then you stop that clock. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Now, this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. This offense converted once on fourth down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. On fourth down, Vick. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. The Eagles will take their third and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Well, they're going to throw it here with Vick. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. A 22-yard touchdown grab. Yeah, the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the fourth quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like fourth quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Vick to throw it, and this one's caught. And their fourth quarter lead grows by a couple more. So they elect to pass there on the two-point try. Sometimes could prove risky there. It worked out.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up that it can prove risky, because if you get it intercepted and they return it, that's 2 points for the defense, but not on that play.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. They'll wind up losing a full 10 yards on the play. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The catch and run pays off to the tune of 35 yards. He'll look to throw. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hall. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 31-yard line. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. They'll look to throw. That is caught at the 7. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Eagles get a score closer. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC?
Run after catch. And he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none.
50's the mic. 50's the mic. All day, baby, all day. Watch safety. Safety screaming. Safety screaming.
That one looks like he'll throw here. On the move to his left. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Let's get that ball. Let's go, Mike 50. Mike 50. Let's get the ball.
Off the play fake, Vick. Buying time to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. So the victory here for Seattle. And this not always an easy proposition, Charles. You had a West Coast team that traveled east, but they got the job done.
And there's so much that goes into it because your body time and your body clock different from what you're used to west, because if you go east, you're going to lose up to 3 hours. Right? So is your body going to be awake when it's time to play? A lot of teams actually rehearse it. They practice it. Maybe the week of the game, they move everything up to that time frame so guys get used to doing it that way. I remember when I played at Tennessee, when we had to go from east to west, our trainer Tim Caron said, leave your watches on East Coast time. Every piece of information we got was East Coast Standard Time. Try to psychologically tell us what to do, as well as prepare our bodies the same way.
So for the Seahawks, the win here means it'll be a 7-1 first half of the season, and they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this, as they're not back in action until week 11.
it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, yeah, whole squad like, what? And it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, what? Whole squad like, yeah, and it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, yeah, whole squad like, yeah, and it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, yeah. You don't want problems, you don't want smoke, you don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. No, I say you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog. You don't want. Call us dangerous. Ain't play with us. See what this game here taking us. No bubble, ain't no fading us. I ain't really saying much. Actions be louder than words, man. I just wanna be heard. For your mom to your pop to the beat to the birds, man. Cut right off on the curb, like I'm Barry Sanders. Chains on and the diamonds dancing. Game on, so it's time to go. When the rain starts, I'ma let you know. Name a squad that is better though than my home team. We a pot of gold. I'm a dog. I'ma need a bone for my whole team. I'ma let it go like blah. Yeah, and it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, yeah, whole squad like, what? And it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, what? Whole squad like, yeah, and it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, yeah, whole squad like, yeah, and it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, yeah. You don't want problems, you don't want smoke, no, you don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. No, I say you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog. You don't want. Yeah, I put so my frustration, I was waiting to shine. My father taught me don't be soft, so now I'm taking what's mine. I define myself as ambitious, young, black, and gifted. Master P, my masterpiece. That mean I don't got no limits. Bout it, I doubt it. My homies know you ain't ride it. We break you down like a pound. I got it, don't pound it surround me. I'm corrupted, flow cold and it's rugged, bump it. What is up? I'm ready for war. You got to love it like blah. Yeah, and it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, yeah, whole squad like, what? And it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, what? Whole squad like, yeah, and it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, yeah, whole squad like, yeah, and it feel like, yeah, all day like, yeah, all night like, yeah. You don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. No, I say you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog. You don't want.
Hey, everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They come in riding high, just one loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Cardinals here, they come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
shadows starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. And we get a glance here at their leader, the man who will be calling the plays under center.
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Okay, partner, a couple points of interest right here, all right? Offensively, we see that they came out throwing the football, but maybe more importantly, the blitz that came defensively, they got right after it.
And you were telling me pregame before we came on here, you think this is something we could see a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because this is a unit that wants to play the game on their terms.
They get 14 back, but it leads now to a third down. Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Now they'll run on the draw. A great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps them pick up the first. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. Give him 16 yards there, and it's a Cardinals first down as well.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yep.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off at the 38. Where they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. Time will tell if that's an interception that rattles the rookie here. First drive on the road.
And you know the discussion going into the game centered on, okay, let's get out nice and easy, take care of the football, we're on the road, you're a youngster, let's not make mistakes early. But now the conversation will shift to, okay, put it behind you, move on. Long way to go in this one.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in. But I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Throwing on second down. Vick. It's caught here by Adams. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That'll pick up the first down for Seattle on a gain of 18.
Push him back. Push him back.
They'll run on first down. Pitts. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long.
And that run was memorable for only one reason. There was absolutely no place to run with the football. No gaps, no creases, no gain.
On play action, Vick steps away. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. And here are the offensive starters for Arizona.
And this certainly doesn't seem like an ideal situation for them because they're coming in on a losing streak, and they've got the quick turnaround right here to Thursday night. But maybe that's for the best. Get right back on the horse and go at it again and not dwell on the losing that they've had in recent weeks.
And this may be a carbon copy as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. The starters defensively now for the Seahawks. They were quite formidable in the win over the Eagles a week ago.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to look at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
We've seen a couple of Super Bowls start 2-0. The first score of this game could have very easily been a safety. That was close there.
It was close, and while it didn't happen in this game, it's funny you bring up the Super Bowls because that would have been, what, Super Bowl 46, Giants-Patriots.
You're testing my memory.
And also Super Bowl 48, which was Broncos-Seattle when the snap went over the head of the QB. And guess what? It was 2-zip Seattle right out of the gate.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Now a first down run is sniffed out from the start as they'll drop him for a loss of 4. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Vick. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Even though that one was incomplete, you could see the training that went into that play. He gets out of the pocket, ends up moving to his right. All he's trying to do, though, extend the life of the play. Keep it alive, hoping someone would pop free.
Was able to take a pretty good shot with a deep ball, but incomplete. Off the play fake. Vick out to his left. He may try and run for this. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
Forward pass, offense.
So we race the flag. They decline it.
And did they use the big eraser, or was that the one at the end of the number 2 pencil?
Well, I was thinking the 2x2-inch ones that you can buy and use in addition to the pencil.
And those last forever.
A long time.
No doubt.
And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. The Cardinals offense now works their way back onto the field. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 16 carries, 63 yards, and a touchdown.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there. No score after 1 on EA Sports.
Check 31, check 31. Hey, watch the screen, watch set. 8 read. 26 Mike, 26 Mike. Hey, Mike.
Here's Manziel. And he will find his man on the outside. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. That catch now puts him on the doorstep of 500. It's his 499th reception. And he gets this away, angled for the sideline with a lot behind it. Wow. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot it.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Ready. We'll go 25 to Mike. Strip the ball. Strip that ball.
Vic back around his own goal line. Caught on the right side by Adams. And they'll mark him down right around the 9, just shy of the 10. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
At 25 to Mike. We'll go 20.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
When I watch plays like that, I give a lot of thanks that my DNA did not make me an offensive tackle, because that is a very difficult job to hold your block against a really good defensive end and hang on to it so your runner can get to the edge and do it without holding. I don't know that that's really possible for very many people.
Alert 3.
Vic goes play action, rolling to his left, and that is incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
They knew they were going to have great field position, went all out, got a little too aggressive.
And you have to understand your angles. They're cut down. When they're that backed up, you've got to be careful going after him.
So a big break. The roughing the kicker called on 4th down leads to 1st and 10. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Vic now. Then he'll find his target. Woods, it's complete. And he coughed it up. And the Cardinals have got it, going the other way. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. If you got to find a good balance.
And no way to get loose that time as Manziel goes down. And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means the other guys on his team helped him out a lot. That they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation, allows him to get home.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Now they'll run on the draw. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Manziel, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this will remain a scoreless game.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick. But let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And given the elements, this might have been what we would have expected, Charles. Scoreless into the 2nd quarter.
The elements have definitely played a part in this game, a big part. And I think that both teams have been a little slow to adjust their playbook and start playing to whatever their strengths are in these conditions.
Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. Well, he can be a load to handle off the edge, and he can do it against the pass. Sure, he can do it against the run like he did there.
And you mentioned a load. How about having to adjust to his speed as well? Because not only does he bring some pop, he brings some dash as well. A nice play on that situation.
Dancing to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play. Right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. The Seahawks on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 11. Back to throw. Feldman. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
They had enough yards for the first down, but a clutch hit right there defensively. Jars it free. No first down.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to...
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Now Manziel. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage on this one, back to the 13. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
On the ready. 26 months. Better bring it. You better bring it. I'm letting you know.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Shedding the tackler that gives him some room. That one 28 yards on the ground.
Let's go.
Well, they call a run on 3rd and a mile. Not only do they convert, but they tack on some yards at the end of it, too.
They went against what anyone would think would be a tendency, which is you're going to throw the ball on 3rd and a mile, right? But instead they decide to run the football because sometimes what you get is the defense is playing a little bit lighter. A lot of extra defensive backs, and they're loosened up for the pass. They found some running room and really converted.
26 months. Hey, let's get that home.
2nd and 3. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. They'll drop the throw. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. This a 43-yard attempt. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And we have action on the scoreboard just before halftime. It's 3-0. So we will not go into the lockers tied. We do have a leader in the clubhouse, so to speak.
Yeah, it's only 3 points. Doesn't seem like much, but it looms big the way that they got it done right before the half ended.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and CD in a minute. First, it's time to take a look at what we've got coming your way this weekend in the NFL. Plenty of good games to choose from in that early window. We'll highlight the one down in Tampa, a big test for the Bucs at home as they'll take on the visiting Carolina Panthers. Excellent games in the late afternoon window as well, one being out.
Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field.